are from Group 1. My name is Rizky Diandra Putri.
My name is Ahmad Aditya Saputra.
My name is Nurholis Safei.
My name is Syaira Bilkis.
My name is Muhammad Fadil Kamil.
My name is Francesco Gabrielo de Baegore.
Sungkap.
Enjoy the video. Bye.
La 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 la. Santai saja.
We from Group 1. We arrive in Kota Tua. Let's enjoy the video.
Bye.
Lelah. Hari sudah semakin senja. Bersantailah lepas kerja. Takkan dia lari. Si esok hari kopi dulu pak. Santai saja.
Hello everyone, this is Bank Indonesia. The Bank Indonesia Museum was first opened on December 16, 2006. Located in West Jakarta, the history of the Bank Indonesia Museum begins with the Bank Indonesia City Building. Before that building was also used as a church. In the end, in 1628, the church underwent restoration and was rebuilt in 1828 by the Dutch as the Javanese Bank Building. This building finally changed its function to the Bank Indonesia Kota Building in 1658. This building consists of 2 floors and designed by architect Edik Saiper. The architectural style is in accordance with neoclassical and has various tendril ornaments typical of local design like temple building.
After we enter, we immediately bought the ticket. But because our group bought student cards, it was free.
Before changing its function to a museum, this building was designed as a cultural heritage in 1998. One of the policies of the DKI Jakarta government is to make the city a old city and educational and historical area. Through the test talk, the idea emerged to create a building with knowledge about Bank Indonesia and its role. Therefore, the Bank Indonesia Museum was finally conformed from the former Bank Indonesia City. The museum was opened to the public on December 15, 2006 by Burhanuddin Abdullah, Governor of Bank Indonesia at the time. The Bank Indonesia Museum building was only inaugurated 3 years later on July 21, 2009 by the President of the Republic Indonesia, Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono.
Spices from the archipelago had been famous for 1,000 years. From West Asia, the Arab trade brought the spices to Venice, where they were sold all over Europe with prices as high as gold. The thriving Asian trade would then give rise to progenitor of banks in the archipelago.
This picture, a view of one of the gates of Batavia, was included in the richly illustrated travel journal of Johan Nijhoff, a world traveler from Amsterdam. From 1955 to 1958, Nijhoff accompanied a delegation of the Dutch East India Company or VOC to the Emperor of the China. After his return, he had his journal published. The book was one of the biggest bestsellers of its time.
ORI, or the money of the Republic of Indonesia, came into effect in October 1946. Its first denomination being 100. Myriad of problems were immediately encountered: difficulty in calculating the money, the widespread forgery, and the printing disturbance. Besides, the need for small denomination exceeded the money available.
The nationalization of the Javanese Bank was followed up by transforming the circulation bank into a central bank with name of Bank Indonesia. On July 1, 1953, Bank Indonesia Act started to be in force. therefore confirming Bank Indonesia being an Indonesian monetary and economic authority. The function of a central bank, which had been done rather inadequately before, could now be carried out by Indonesia.
The nationalization of the Javas Bank. On June 19, 1951, the government established the DGB Nationalization Committee. Mr. M. Saubari and Mr. Noubian they were sent to the Netherlands to manage the buying of DGB. Shares they were listed on the Amsterdam Stock Exchange. On August 3, 1951, the government submitted proposal to DGB shareholders. Within 2 months, the government of the Republic of Indonesia had managed to buy almost all of DGB shares.
And the credit flow on. Bank Indonesia introduced a variety of loans in order to create equitable developments and create more job opportunities. For example, the small investment loans and working capital loans for small entrepreneurs with a low interest rate and a ceiling of 5 million each. Bank Indonesia also provided other loans such as small housing loans as well as loans for professionals and students.
When welfare foster local potential. With the assistance of Bank Indonesia liquidity credits with low rates and soft terms, State Bank were functioned as agent of development. Around 80% of the total loans come from Bank Indonesian covers local potential where development so that Indonesian non-oil and gas export, as well as other economically productive sector, could be interested. The problem of supply scarcity, especially that of food and clothing, was thus tackled and more jobs could be generated.
Next, this is a board of director room. In one of board of directors office rooms, directors of the Java Bank, G.F. Van Rossum and Dan Lighthart, have ever worked in the early era of Bank Indonesia. The function of this room was maintenance. However, in 1968, Governor of Bank Indonesia and other members of Board of Directors moved to a new building at Jalan MH Tamrin, number 2, Central Jakarta.
In the past era, coal had been used as a fuel storage due to its high and stable value, its durability, and its universal character.
That's our activity visiting the Indonesian Museum Bank. Hopefully, it's useful and add to your education. Thank you and see you in the next vlog. Bye.